Hello everybody, my name is Dan O'Neill, and I'm here to introduce the new Ketron X1 keyboard from Ketron Labs. The purpose of this video is to give you some quick guidelines for operating this keyboard. Now the guidelines that are covered with the X1 will also apply to the new X4 module from Ketron Labs. So let's get started with selecting the sounds. The X1 has 256 sounds. When you turn the keyboard on, it always defaults to Grand Piano, which is located in the upper right hand corner of the screen. When I use the piano, I like to select the pianist button, which is located to the right of the master volume control. So let me press that right now. This gives me full access to the whole keyboard. Now you have 16 categories, from piano all the way through to the effects. All of the sounds are aligned in general MIDI order. Now as I mentioned, you turn it on, it's a grand piano first. If you select B, you will get a new piano sound. You go to C and D and E and F and G and H, and that basically takes you through the first bank of sounds for each category. Now just below the A, you'll see a bank that's called bank 1/2. So if you press this button and when it is lit, you will access the second bank of sounds, and you follow the same procedures selecting A through H to access the second bank of sounds. Now the X1 and X4 also has another bank called the user voice. When you select this button here and when it is lit, you will have a third bank of sounds. Now a few of the sounds are duplicated. However, I have found some of my best sounds in the user voice area. For instance, we have a great Carlos lead on the guitar and letter G. We also have some wonderful vocal sounds under the ensemble. So if I press ensemble and D, we have this. If we press E, we have a la sound. So again, you have 3 banks, 256 sounds total. Ketron has also provided you with another bank of sounds called Program. Now when you press the Program bank, this will give you some layered combinations of sounds developed by Ketron. So for instance, when I go to piano and B, I have rock piano, but if I go to D, I have a piano and string combination. If I go over to the ensemble voice category, I have some wonderful gospel singers. Now, if you wish to alter programs, you follow the basic steps. So I'm going to go back to piano and D for piano and strings. So my first step is to press F8 for Edit Program. Now at this time it will show you the voices that are being used by Ketron for that particular program. So we see at the top of the screen it says piano strings. Now if I press the F2 button, this will give me the volumes of each of the sounds that are used for the piano string 1. If I press the F2 button again, it takes me over to the volume of the slow arc as it's listed here. There's no third sound, and we have a rock piano as the fourth sound. So let's go up to F1 and let's add a new sound. So I'm going to go over here to number 3 by pressing F1 3 times, and I'm going to add a choir sound. Now I must go down to F2 and press it 3 times and increase the volume. Now you increase the volume by using the balance value button, which is located right here. By pressing it to the right, you increase the volume, and by pressing it to the left, you decrease the volume. So let's listen to that again. Now let's say I want to hear it in a different octave. So for instance, I can go to F3 and press this 3 times, And again, using the balance value button, I can increase the octaves. I'm going to go up 12 and let's have a listen. So now I don't like that, so let me go down 12. So that kind of sounded mushy, so let me go back up. So I'm happy with that. I also have the ability to change the tuning as well as pan each of the 4 sounds. But let's say I'm happy, which I am. I'm going to go ahead and press this Save Enter button, and the title Piano String 1 comes up. Now at this time I can actually change the name of this particular program. I'm going to do that by using the blue letters that are located above the keys. So let's see here. I'm going to name this Dan, D-A-N-O 1. Now if I press this cancel button, it will delete the rest of the name. And now I'm going to press F10 to save. And now I'm going to press exit. And now I have my custom program sound. Another wonderful feature that Ketron has developed with the X1 and the X4 is this button that's called Second Voice. All 256 sounds have been matched with a suggested second voice. So as we look at Grand Piano 1, we have a voice below this called Synth String 1. Now if I press the second voice button, it will add that synth string to the piano sound. If I wish to alter that sound, you follow this. If you wish to alter the second voice, just follow these steps. Number 1 is you press Edit. Now at this time you can reach up and select a second voice. So as I go through the voices here, let's go over to Ensemble, and we have Synth String 2. Let's listen to that. So I like that. But what else is cool with the X1 and the X4 is the ability to actually change the octave of that second voice. Now you do that by using the transpose or cursor button, and by pressing it to the left you'll notice the screen changes to -12, and this is what it sounds like. If I press it to the right, so I kind of like it in the middle. So in order to save that, I press the Save Enter button. I select F6 for second voices, and then I press F10 to save. And it's done. It will permanently save that second voice how you have made it. Some other great features with selecting the sounds is a few of the buttons that are listed to the right hand side of the keyboard over here. So let's talk about that for a second. We have Aftertouch. Now I use Aftertouch a lot with the rock lead guitar, so let's listen to it without the Aftertouch. Now if I press Aftertouch and apply pressure with my right hand, I get that kind of wah sound to make it more authentic. Now we also have an octave button. Now the octave button actually gives you the ability to lower the octave of the sound. So for instance, I have a rock lead. If I press the octave button, it actually shifts the octave down. You can also program the keyboard to shift the octave up by following these procedures. Press the utility button for F3, and if you press F1 it shows down. If I press it, it shows up. So now which is a nice added touch from Ketron Labs. Next to the octave button we have the portamento button. This allows you to stretch the sounds that you play. For instance, if I go to lead and A, we have a square lead. If I press portamento, That's for all you Keith Emerson fans out there. Now next to the portamento button we have a harmony button. Now let's go ahead and select brass F. By pressing the harmony button, you will see selections appear in the screen. If you notice, F1 says full, F2 says jazz, F3 says double up, F4 says double down. So let's go ahead and press double up. And we press double down. And it basically does what it says. It harmonizes the right voice. As mentioned earlier, there's 256 sounds on the Sultan X1. But one of the really great features that Ketron has added to the X1 and also the X4 is the ability to have organ drawbar settings. Now this gives you the ability to create your favorite Hammond settings. So I'd like to go over that with you right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press the organ category. I'm going to press bank 1, 2. I'm now going to press B. I'm going to select user voice, and now I'm going to press F7 for edit voice. And at this time you will see the drawbars appear nice and big in the LCD display. Now the volume control buttons for the arrangements also act as the flute lengths of for your drawbar settings. So let's go over to where it says volume here on the left hand side of the keyboard, and you notice the drums have a little blue insignia at 16, which is for the 16-foot pipe. Now if I press it to the left, you'll notice that the pipe length or the drawbar goes down. If I press it to the right, it extends. Each volume control that is used for the arrangement has a purpose. If you notice under orchestral it says 4. So if I press 4 to the right, you'll see the drawbar extend. If you press 2, again, the drawbar extends. So let's listen to this. Let's go up to 1, 3, and a 5. Come over here to bass. Now if I press the rotor on and slow fast, we'll have a rotor speed. Very effective tool to have the slow fast rotor speed. Now if I wish to save that drawbar setting, I would basically press save enter, and you notice pipe 1 comes up in the screen. Now I'm going to change that to, let's say, Dano 1, and I'm going to use the blue letters that are located above the keys, D-A-N-O 1. I'm going to press F10 to save, and there it is, Dano 1, and I have my drawbar setting. Now if I press number 2, I have pipe 2, pipe 3, pipe 4, and as you notice the screen changes. There are 16 drawbar settings, and you can save 16. So by following the numbers 1 through 16, which these numbers are located again right above the family names of your sounds, you can access all 16 different settings. So right now if I'm on 11, it says theater 3, and let's listen to that. So I'm going to add the 5 and the third. I'm going to go over here to number 1 and add some. If I press F6, I can actually add some like percussion noise. If I press save enter and I change to Dan 02 and I press cancel, it eliminates the rest of the name. I press F10 to save, and there you go. So every time, like for instance, if I go back up to number 1, I have Dano number 1. If I go to number 11, I have Dano 2. And that's basically how you save your favorite Hammond settings. So right now let's press the exit button. Another great feature with the new X1 and the X4 from Ketron Labs is this button that's called One Touch. So let's go ahead and press this and let's see what happens. The One Touch feature allows you to store 48 of your favorite sounds or programs. The numbers that are located over each family group, 1 through 24, will allow you access to the sounds that are listed in the screen. So for instance, French horn is 17. So if I press 17, I now have the French horn. But let's go back to number 1, the blowed sax. So let's go ahead and create my own one-touch list. First, I press the Save Enter button. Second, I press F4 for one-touch list. Right now we have 01 highlighted for blowed sax. Well, let's say I want to alter that to be some type of an organ sound. So let's press F10 to edit, and now I select my sound. So for this example, I'm going to use the Leslie sound. Well, if I'm happy with that, I can basically press Save Enter and then F10 to save. And now I've created my first voice on the one-touch list. You basically follow the same steps with each particular sound. So if I wish to alter, say, number 8, which is Paris, you would just follow the procedures that I just gave you, and you'd be able to alter that one-touch list. Well, we spent some time talking about the sounds, so let's get into using the styles.